For me, awareness is big. If we don't get that, I don't think we'll move on.
Nigerian government, of all the African countries, Nigeria seems to be, the pathway for other African countries. Yeah, of course, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
We can penetrate the market further. The government can do better sensitization to the public. What's the first thing that comes to your mind once you hear the word halal? Hello and welcome to Islamic Finance Weekly. I am Rahma Say Muhammad. Today we're outside to engage with finance enthusiasts and everyday Nigerians to hear the thought once they hear the word halal and how do they think Nigeria can better incorporate the halal economy. Well, stay tuned with us to enjoy this conversation. Halal, something like Sharia compliance. That's what will come to my mind here. Halal, basically Sharia compliance.
My bank, alternative bank. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Oh, what were you thinking about?
Comes to my mind is responsible, right? Impact.
Halal, permissible, legal, lawful, legitimate. That is what comes to my mind. And taqwa, integrity. You understand? And God fearing.
I believe that all is from God. It's talking about something that related to God. That's how I feel. So wherever I am and I have such a thing, I believe that it's about God.
I think they are doing quite all right in that regard. I believe Takaful stands for halal products and they represent halal services. They provide halal services and investments. I believe that, but we are growing. The government is improving in that regard. However, I think we can still do more. We can penetrate the market further. The government can do better sensitization to the public, let people know because a lot of people when they hear halal, they believe it's just religious sentiments and the likes. I mean, it's more than that. So they can enlighten people more, maybe have advertisements and speak to social marketing, speaking to halal products. That it's not just about Muslims, it's not just about Islam. This is what it represents. It's ethical and people can welcome it and embrace it further. Yeah.
A lot of reforms are ongoing for the Takaful segment, which is relevant to the insurance industry. We started a lot of reform. One is we increased the minimum capital requirements for Takaful companies in 2023. All the companies have complied. And so that's to ensure that they are financially sound to fulfill their promises to Nigerians. The other thing we've done, again, is to also say that, look, we need to create very clear boundaries between Takaful and conventional insurance such that either party can, evolve, can provide products and services to Nigerians within the regulatory framework that guides that segment of the country. And we're now moving on to the governance side, where we're making requirements for fit and proper. And in essence, if you are not fit and proper, you can't participate in that segment. All these are meant to ensure that people who will handle premium payments or contributions from Nigeria or who provide services to Nigeria in that segment of the insurance sector are people who are proper, people who understand their obligations, people who understand the risk, and that can provide the requisite services that will ensure that in the event that Nigerians now have to fall back on the promise that is made by a Takaful company, the Takaful company is also there to fulfill those promises.
Okay, the first thing about unlocking the halal economy is we have to make what halal means. Let it mean a lot to more people than always for Muslims. Like the alternative bank, you can bank with us either if you're Muslim or Christian or you don't even have a religion, right? So that for me is the first major step we need to make. Because I know that the government has tried to do some things on a large scale, but people say you are Islamizing the economy. So that first thing is awareness. We do a lot of it in our bank to let you know that We have Muslim workers, we have Christian workers, we have workers that don't have any religion, right? So that's important. That awareness that what does halal economy mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to I? So that is the very first thing that I think should be done. And then when we move from there, we can have a more, this is now what you call advocacy. Apart from the awareness, is constant advocacy that this is who we are, this is what this is the benefit to you and I. The same way when we talk about facilities that we give to customers, that we work together, we tell you this is non-interest and this is what it means for you. So for me, awareness is big. If we don't get that, I don't think we'll move on.
Nigerian government, of all the African countries, Nigeria seems to be, the pathway for other African countries. Yeah, of course, there's still a lot of room for improvement. If you look at other countries, particularly in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, for example, their government has been able to create enabling environments not only for big institutions, but even for educational institutions where you have the likes of INSEF, to educate and nurture people within the halal ecosystem. So in Nigeria, I believe we've done quite some remarkable, things, but there's still a lot of room for improvements.
You see, when it comes to that issue, what I always emphasize on has to do with the issue of collaboration amongst the non-interest players in the financial industry in Nigeria. Come to think of it, plus or minus, we have almost about 50% of the Nigerian population as Muslim. So why is the halal economy not growing? So I think it's something that we need to look at as practitioners, even as individuals, as Muslims, and also taking it beyond the Muslims. If you look at Islamic finance itself, you find out that people are beginning to see it beyond religion. They are beginning to see the value proposition. They are beginning to appreciate the fact that Islamic finance is for everybody, not for Muslims alone. So as far as halal economy is concerned, I think as players, we need to come together and collaborate more so that we can pass that message beyond the Muslim community, and also for everyone to understand that, look, when we talk about Islamic finance, it goes beyond just because what people always emphasize on is immediately they hear anything Sharia, the next thing that comes to mind is cutting of hands. Now people are beginning to appreciate the value proposition, and that I think that is what we need to highlight to the public.
Well, the government is trying. The government is trying, and where we are presently, we can do better. And that the government launched the Halal Economy project is a very good development, and the future is very bright because it's like other developing economies have jumped on it. Nigeria ought to jump on it because of our position in Africa and because of our position in the Muslim world as member of OIC. So I believe we've started, and Al-Jannah will be the limit, inshallah.
Well, we've seen first time and honest reactions to the word halal, what people actually think when they hear the word halal, and how they think Nigeria can better advance the Nigerian economy through incorporating and tapping from the halal ecosystem. Well, with that, I say don't forget to keep stay stick on the program. Follow us on all of our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching, and as always, I am Rahma Say Mohammed.